crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning. Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn disease. I don't have any coffee yet. I need it badly. Amy and I had a drinking contest last night in Barstow. We were just so excited that they had indoor dining. I'm not going to tell you where it is because I think it's illegal in California to eat inside, which is ridiculous, obviously. Anyway, let's talk silver. I do want to touch on an interview my friend Litecoin Lisa did with Willie, the Golden-Jackass. I want to touch on it. I usually don't comment on the old GATA guys, old gold bugs, when they try to, argue a point about the amount of gold in the world. But he started attacking the road to customers. I've been asked by a few to address it. So I'm going to play you what he said. It's just sad to watch. But anyway, that's coming up. Silver price, again, they're fighting the moving average game. Banksters got it down below the 50-day moving average. I think it'll just be brief. Who knows? We are in a hodl game. There's things going on right now at the COMEX. The interesting thing to me today was the head of the CFTC has announced his resignation. This guy named Chairman Heath Tarbett. I had given up on the CFTC years ago and said, hey, this is just a regulatory agency to run cover for the manipulation. Hopefully everybody knows that by now. So it might be no big deal at all, but it means we get a new guy at the head of the CFTC. Ted Butler loves to say, there's good ones and there are bad ones. I think they're all bad. I think they're taking their orders from somewhere else. So farewell, Heath Tarbett. You did squad deadly for the freeing of gold and silver from manipulation. Adios, muchacho. Again, the battle for the silver manipulation is ongoing. I'll have more on that tomorrow. But I did want to get to this really quickly because we're on the road in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to play you the video. First, someone sent it to me. I hadn't seen Lisa's video. Someone sent it to me and said, hey, Willie proves your Grand Canyon theory wrong on the gold in the Grand Canyon. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I've been looking for a gold bug from my old GATA days who could prove this thing wrong, because even I didn't believe it when I found out about it and all the extra gold there is out there, the Yamashita's gold, the gold at Chocolate Mountain. And that's why I dug in so hard for 2-3 years to discover, is this real or is this not? I got so much pushback from the GATA guys. They basically kicked me out of their club, and Willie's one of the GATA guys. He still doesn't understand cryptocurrencies, what's happening. He still doesn't understand gold. But I thought, oh my God, this is going to be great. He's going to prove that there's no gold in the Grand Canyon after I've spent 2 years documenting it and hundreds of articles on it and proof all over the place. This is so exciting. I'm like, finally, someone with the brains on the gold side, the old gold bug side, to put me in my place and show me why there's no gold in the Grand Canyon when I have Supreme Court documents. I've been there. I've seen the sides of the canyon ripped out by hydraulic mining. I've seen the riverboat that they brought from San Francisco to mine the gold that Woodrow Wilson locked up. So I was very excited. And then I listened to this. Check this out.
The nasty plot that I see is that Wall Street is trying to promote a movement from gold to Bitcoin, claiming it's going to be the new gold. Yeah, like the new orange jumpsuit is going to be popular in parks. No, that's prison garb. I don't swallow bullshit easily. And I'll tell you, I can document this. I got something like a 90% correct forecast rate. And slowly forming on the wall is a Bitcoin crash again. And, Bix Weir can shoot his mouth off all he wants. He was a big advocate in early 2019. And he's still got knucklehead followers. Yeah. Okay.
I'm one of them. I don't
And
think he's right on everything, just like he doesn't agree with me on everything, but I do
Yeah.
respect him for
Yeah,
his knowledge and
let me-
history. And
Yeah, his knowledge. Yeah, right. Like the gold in the Grand Canyon. Okay, I've got a client who was a riverboat tour guide in his 20s in the Grand Canyon. And he said, Jim, I have camped in 30 different locations. I have made out with girls on a blanket in 30 different locations. I have gotten drunk. I have looked for caves. I have just scoured that whole area for year upon year. There's no gold. This guy's a knucklehead. Okay? You know, golly, take a story, run with it, look like a hero. Yeah. 70% decline in Bitcoin.
Really, Jim? That's your analysis. I knew a guy, one of my clients, when he was 20, he rode riverboats up and down and camped and slept with girls in the sand. There's no gold in the Grand Canyon. That's the bullshit I had to deal with when I was at GATA. I'd bring him court documents. I'd show him stuff like this. Vast tell of riches of gold in the Grand Canyon. Is this true or is it not? I didn't think it was true when I saw it, so I went to the Grand Canyon and saw where they scraped down half a mountain getting all the gold. When was it done? 1912. When did they stop it? In 1913, when they locked up the Grand Canyon, when Woodrow Wilson created the Federal Reserve, and then they turned it into a national park and forbade mining anywhere, all the way up to Marble Canyon. That's where his buddy, his 20-year-old buddy, used to jump in his riverboat right from the beginning of Marble Canyon all the way down the Colorado River. That's where everybody goes whitewater rafting. And that's your evidence? That's your evidence to call Roto-Rooter people knuckleheads? Oh, dude. Jim Willie, I challenge you to a debate. How much gold is there in the world? Apparently you have all the goods on the Grand Canyon. You can tell me why, I went there and I saw it, all the mountains scraped down, and you apparently don't understand that there's massive amounts of gold there. That's fine. But, the Supreme Court case, 1929, Utah versus the United States of America, trying to mine gold, and the USA said, no, you can't do it. I have so much evidence. And then he starts spitting his mouth off. I had a guy. This is classic Jim Willie. I mean, Jim is great. He's a character, but this is the mindset of a lot of gold bugs. Anything that goes against their, oh my God, there's 200,000 tons of gold in the world that's ever been mined. They look at Yamashita's gold. Peggy and Sterling Seagrave spent their whole lives documenting to the T that there's 300,000 tons that were hidden in the Philippines, in Yamashita's caves and all that. It is absolutely true, but the gold bugs cannot get their head around it, even though I have 4 CDs of documentation, court cases, you name it, affidavits. Read the Marcos trial information. These gold bugs just can't get their head around that there might not be 200,000 tons of gold. There might be millions of tons of gold out there. Look up the Black Eagle Trust. Go to Chocolate Mountain yourself. Try to get in the military range that they locked up back in the 90s. Read the documentation from Karen Lee Bixman about all the people who were screaming, oh my God, this is the largest gold find in all of California, and Dianne Feinstein's locking it up. The gold bugs just can't get it through their skulls. It's about evidence. And that's all you got to do, is bring the evidence. So I challenge the Golden-Jackass to a debate about how much gold is there in the world. We can include the Grand Canyon. Let's include, I guarantee you, he doesn't believe in Yamashita's gold. He doesn't believe that there's gold at Chocolate Mountain. I guarantee you. Why? Because it breaks down the narrative of the old gold bugs. Print too much money, and gold's the only other asset. He still doesn't understand cryptocurrencies. That's the insane thing. And during this interview, he's saying, I've called it 90% success rate on all my calls. He's been calling the death of Bitcoin since day one. And then when Bitcoin drops from 1,800 down to 3,000, he says, I called that top. Dude, you've been calling the top of Bitcoin since the day you were born. You don't even understand what cryptocurrencies are. And I would love to have a debate with you on that too. So that's an open invitation to Jim Willie. I'll debate you on cryptocurrencies. I'll debate you on how much gold there is in the world. I'll debate you on the Grand Canyon stuff. I'll debate you on Yamashita's gold. I'll debate you on the Chocolate Mountain gold. And you can bring all your friends if you want to. I love your friends. I was one of them in the GATA days. If you don't think you're the guy who should be discussing the Grand Canyon gold because the only proof you have is that you have a 20-year-old guy on a boat who didn't, sleep with a girl on top of a gold nugget as he turned around, that's fine. If that's your proof, let's talk about it. Let's chat about it. Anyway, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I just feel bad for these guys because most of them are broke. Most of the gold bugs I know from back in the day are broke because they couldn't get their mind out of the understanding that you've been lied to about the amount of gold, and they never understood cryptocurrencies. They never understood decentralization. So it's sad to see, truthfully, but most of them have not fared well, which is a bummer. Anyway, so check out that's at Lisa's channel, Litecoin Lisa. She does an awesome job. She's very good with Jim and says Lisa's cool. She does a great interview, and the Golden-Jackass is kind of tough to deal with sometimes but his contact, his big contact, the voice, is how he kind of got famous. That guy was connected. Jim was he's the loud spokesman. Like my buddy Bill Murphy, he's the loud spokesman for GATA. But when it comes down to analyzing what's real and what's not real, hey, other people can do that for you. So that's my take on that. If you want to go find out more about gold in the Grand Canyon, go to roadtoruta.com, do a search for Grand Canyon. You're going to find 110 articles with proof up and down. Pictures of me standing at the gold mines on the Grand Canyon that was shut down by Woodrow Wilson. And even your river rafting guide where they take off at Lee's Ferry is the start. You can see a big scrape in the mountain behind where all the river rafters start. That was hydraulic mining back in 1909 when they shut that mine down. Come on, dude. Anyway, today's a good day for Theta. If you have Theta, great time to buy Theta, by the way. It is about to go ballistic. But today, they implemented a change. So at 12 noon today on December 10th, we're going to have a few things added, smart contracts. So all you Ethereum programmers can come over to Theta. While Ethereum's still working out how to go faster and cheaper, Theta's already worked it out. And you can stake after 12 o'clock noon, I think East Coast time or West Coast time, not sure. You can stake Guardian Node for only 1,000 Theta. So great news for people. Very exciting. You guys want more information, go to roadtoruta.com. Be one of us knuckleheads. Join the private road and do a search for anything you want to learn about. Let's do a search for Jim Willie. I bet you over the years I've written about Jim Willie. 51 times he came into my articles. There's so much information here. How about GATA, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee? 151 different articles. You can learn anything you want here's the one. GATA gets it wrong on Yamashita's gold, but that's okay. These were my friends back in the day. They still are my friends. I just feel bad for them because they couldn't get their mind around cryptocurrencies. And they couldn't get their mind around there's more gold than they tell you. They couldn't get their mind around how manipulation works. I was at the Silver Summit back in 2010 screaming, hey, it's computers and derivatives on the COMEX. And no one would listen. Anyway, it's tough when you don't toe the mainstream line. There's 200,000 tons of gold ever that's been produced on the planet. It's ridiculous. Come on, my friends. Anyway, you want to get smarter? Go join the private road at Road to Ruta. I'm giving away currently 25 Theta and 25 Theta Fuel. Jim Willie says it's going to go to 0. So if you're a Jim Willie follower and believer, probably don't sign up for the Road to Ruta. If you want to make some money in the future, secure your future for your friends and family, join the Road to Ruta. Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.